Now we're in section 6.4 and we're going to start talking about compound inequalities. And of course that leads us to our essential question, what is a compound inequality and how do I solve it? Well, first of all, a compound inequality is two separate inequalities that are joined by either the word and or the word or. Now we call it a conjunction when it's joined by and a disjunction when joined by are. We don't really deal with that in Algebra 1 and in this book, but you will later on when we get into geometry in Algebra 2. Now, let's go ahead and look at our first example, letter A. Here it says all real numbers that are greater than -2 and less than -3. So, when we set this up, make a statement out of it, we're going to have x in the middle. Notice how x is greater than -2 and it is less than -3. Now, and means unity. It's brought together. So, whenever we graph it, we see here that when we take it separate, x is less than -2, greater than -2. We use a circle and highlight everything greater. And then when we graph x is less than -3, we put a circle on 3 and highlight everything less than. And notice how they intersect. So the two graphs intersect, and that's your solution, is the intersection of the two graphs. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at B. All real numbers that are less than 0 or greater than or equal to 2. Now, this is actually, disjunction is actually not unity. It's when we do not have intersection between the two graphs. So, we're going to write it x is less than 0 or x is greater than or equal to 2. And notice we graph it and there is no intersection between the two graphs.